adversary. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Tell me, you're in Christianity. You should know who the devil is.
Adversary. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Anyone else?
Well, it seems like in the Torah, it speaks of devils. I haven't seen a singular, but it's plural. I may be wrong, of course, but in the New Testament, he's described as singular.
Okay. All
So I, in my understanding, I don't know. I thought it was the enemy.
There's
Physical.
there's mentioned, yeah, there is. So we've been told that the devil is an enemy, right? We've been told he's the adversary. We've been told he's our enemy. Okay. Some have taken him to be the man with the red horns and this, red face, and so, there's a whole bunch of ideas to go along with him. There's been some talk about, is he spoken of in the book of Ezekiel? Just talks about, the Lucifer. Is it Lucifer? Is he the devil? Right? So Lucifer is a whole nother study. Okay. The devil is not Lucifer. Okay. The Lucifer is the son of the morning. Okay. His name is Lucifer. That's his name. But his real Hebrew name is called Hallel, meaning to shine, to be bright. Okay. But we're talking about the adversary. The reason why I mention that is simply because you're going to find an adversary in your Torah portion. Okay. It is not just our enemies of Balak, the king of Moab. It's not just the Imri, who they just recently defeated. And it's not just Balaam, who's working in conjunction with our enemies, but it's actually someone that you and I never was told that can be this. Okay. So let's just begin right here in verse number 9. Is talking about how these men, these princes came from Moab to Balaam, and Elohim came to Balaam and said, who are these men with you? So that some people who don't know who Yah is would think that the creator didn't know who these people were. He knows who they are. Okay, so this is a rhetorical question. He knows. He just wants him to say it. He wants him to tell him what's going on, but he already knows. He just wants him to say it. So Balaam said to Elohim, Balak, the son of Zippor, the king of Moab, has sent me this message. The people who came out of Mizraim have spread over the land. Now come and curse them for me. Maybe I will be able to fight against them and drive them out, which goes to our military campaign. And then now it says, Elohim answered Balaam, you are not to go with them. You are not to curse the people because they are blessed. Okay. Balaam got up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, return to your own land because Yahweh refuses to give me permission to go with you. If you were paying careful attention to what Yahweh had said, this man left out the detail. What detail did he leave out when he told them? What detail did he did not tell them?
That they were blessed.
That they were blessed. He just put it, and there's a reason why he says that he just refuses to let me go with you. There's a reason. Okay. So he omits what Yah has said. Okay. So Balak, so he told him, he refuses. So they went back in verse number 14. The princes of Moab got up. They returned to Balak, and he said, Balaam refuses to come with us. That's it. He didn't know nothing about them being blessed or nothing. Balak again sent princes, more of them in higher status than the first group. There's a reason for that. We're going to go into that on the Shabbat. Then went to Balaam, they went to Balaam and said to him, here is what Balak the son of Zippor says. Please don't let anything keep you from coming to me. I will reward you very well. And whatever you say to me, I will do. So please come and curse this people for me. Balaam answered the servants of Balak, even if Balak were to give me his palace filled with silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh, my Elohim, to do anything great or small. Now, please, you too, stay here tonight so that I might find out what else Yahweh will say to me. So then Yahweh came to Balaam during the night, and he said to him, if the men have come to summon you, then go up with them. But do only what I tell you. Okay? But do only what I tell you. So Balaam got up in the morning, he saddled his donkey, and he went with the princes of Moab. Okay? What's the problem here?
Well, y'all initially told him that he should not go. So why do you have to go back and ask him a second time? He
Yes.
must have really in his heart wanted to go all along.
Yes, that's my point. Here's another point that you should look at when you see this. Because remember, this is our study. He said, this is what he said. He said, I want to go tonight so I can find out what else Yahweh will say to me. Yahweh came to him, to Balaam during the night in verse number 20 and said to him, if the men have come to summon you, get up and go with them, but do only what I tell you. So Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. 22, but Elohim's anger flared up because he went. Flared up because he went. Why did Yah's anger flare up? Besides him saying he went, when Yah told him, if they came to summon you, then you can go.
They didn't summon him?
They did not summon him. Thank you, Fanta. They did not summon him. After he said he was going to go seek a message, Yah says, don't do anything until they summon you. They never summoned him again. They never said, come with us. They never said that again. They were waiting on an answer from him. So he disobeyed Yah. Okay. He disobeyed the Creator right here in verse number 21. He wasn't summoned again. Okay. So why am I reading this? Because I'm about to show you something. So Yahweh's anger flared up because he went, and the Malach of Yahweh stationed himself on the path to bar his way. He was riding on his donkey, and his two servants were with him. Okay. And it's going to say the donkey saw the Malach of Yahweh. They called angel, but in Hebrew, there is no word for an angel. There is no angel. Okay. It's a Malach. Okay. And they come in different varieties. Okay. So the donkey saw the Malach of Yahweh standing on the road, drawn with the sword in his hand. And so the donkey turned off the road into the field, and Balaam had beat the donkey back to get it back on the road. I don't want to focus on anything else but this Malach, or this so-called angel of Yahweh. Okay. I'm going to show you something. If you know the Hebrew language and if you read it, you'll know, well, something's not right. Okay. Because it said the angel. All right. So it's in verse number 23, I believe, chapter 22, verse number 23. And I'll show you in Hebrew. Here it says, of course, they got angel up there, but it says, and aroused anger of Yahweh because he went. He was going. And so he took his stand, the Malach, okay, which they have translated as an angel, okay? A Malach, okay, is one who walks. It's called a messenger, okay? That's what a Malach is. It's a messenger. And this messenger is of Yahweh. Christians will tell you that Christ of the New Testament is this angel, the angel of Yahweh, or saying it's the Creator himself. The Creator has messengers. He sends, he's a king. He does not go there himself. He sends Malaks to do his bidding. There was a Malak that met with Moshe in the fire. That's who was in the fire. It was a Malak of Yahweh, a representative to speak on Yahweh's behalf. Okay. There was a Malak who met Abraham. It wasn't the Creator who did this. So that's what a Malak is. And it comes from the word malak. And lak means to walk. And walk for who? For someone. It says that he was an adversary. He put him in his way because Yahweh was angry. The word that you see right here is la Satan. Satan. We've been called Hash Shaitan, but it's not Hash. It's Has, okay, or Sa here. If it has a preposition in front of it, it's Has. Has Satan, okay? All right, so it would be Ha Satan. Satan, okay? Not Shtan. If it was sh, it'd have a dot right here, but it doesn't, right? So the Malak of Yahweh with this lamed right here, a preposition meaning to or for, a Satan. The Malak of Yahweh came to be a Satan. A Satan. A Satan. All right. Is there the Satan? Yes, there is one who's called Satan. Okay. But in terms of the names in Hebrew, names is what? Everybody knows what a name is. They call it a shame. Shame is name. Easy to remember. And your name is your what?
Character.
It's your character. Okay. Yah has sent a so-called angel of Yahweh to be a Satan, to be an adversary. Okay. There's someone else. So that's the question you may ask yourself. Well, why is the so-called angel of the Lord? So is the angel of the Lord Satan? Huh? No. The Malak of Yahweh is operating and functioning as an adversary. The word Satan in its root meaning means to be one who opposes, which means it is the opposition, which is an opposer. You understand? This is what it is. This is what Satan is. Yes, 13 Pro Max, hand raised, speak.
So with that being said, anything or anyone can be Hasatan, adversary towards something. So
Yes.
like myself, I'm a Hasatan towards any point against that.
Yes. So anybody, anyone can be this. That's quite different than what we're told. Okay. So you have the Malak of Yahweh who came as a Satan for Satan. Okay. To be a Satan, to be an adversary. If you click on this word, 7854, is going to give you all the places where this is mentioned, this Satan, okay? One of the places that we want to go here is is brought, let's see, I think it was the second time this day to adversary to me, should any man. Let's go right here to Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter number 29, verse number 4. Let's find out who else is a Satan, okay? Or who's operating as a Satan, or can be called a Satan. Listen what it says. And we're reading from right to left. I'm putting it in Hebrew so you can follow along. I don't expect you to learn how to read it right now, but I'm just showing it to you. But we're angry with him, the princes of the Philistines, and said to him, the princes of the Philistines, make return, Hashuveth, this fellow, this man, that he may go back to the place from which you have appointed for him, that he may not, and that him and not let him go with us in battle, lest he become our Satan. And guess who they're talking about? This is David that is being called a Satan. In context, in chapter, I forget where's the chapter, chapter 29, verse number 4. Let's look at the whole chapter. I just showed you that one to let you know where Satan is. Okay, so chapter number 29 tells you that David was called a Satan. Anybody can be a Satan. Okay, what it was is the Philistines were about to go to war, and this in particular guy who was letting David stay in his place said, hey, you know, David, why don't you come out and go to war with us? Since Israel's already against you, why don't you come with us? So you can see right here in verse number, where is it? 2, 3, 4. Israel encamped the fountain, and they gathered the armies of Arphak, and they passed to the Philistines. Okay, there it is in verse number 1. But David, verse number 2, but David. So David, they thought that David was going to be a Hasatan to them. That's what they believed. Okay. Things keep going. But David will be a what? He will be a Hasatan. Yah gives us a clue. So we got the Malach of Yahweh, this Hasatan. We got David, who the people consider to be a Hasatan. Okay. Well, let me show you in the book of Job. In the book of Job, or what they call Eov, okay, beginning in verse number 6, they got Satan right here, right? And interesting enough, in the Hebrew, there are no capital letters. So this right here, this capital, is making it like a what do they call it? A perfect noun, like a perfect pronoun, right? Saying that this is a person, like this is a real person, okay? Anytime you give a name to something, right, it's a proper noun, right? So they do this on purpose. In the Hebrew, there are no capital letters. But if you and I see capital, we'll go, oh, we were taught from children that this is a proper noun. So this is actually a person, a name of a person, right? Or some type of entity. So in verse number 6, and there was a day when the sons of Elohim, and I'm reading from right to left, presented themselves. Okay, they caused themselves to appear before Yahweh. And why Yovo also Satan. The difference with this Satan versus the ones that I've showed you so far is this one. I'm going to expand it so you can see it. This one right here has what you would call a definite article on front of it. Here, the ART is what they call a definite article. Okay. And so in Hebrew, if you took my class, you know that there is no letter A, which is an indefinite. Okay. So there's no letter A in Hebrew, like a this or a that. Okay, it's implied. But in Hebrew, this right here, this definite article, the hey, okay, or the ha, excuse me, the ha, the letter of his, the letter name is hey, but the sound and pronunciation is ha. The letter name of the letter is hey, okay? So, but this is saying that this is the Satan. This is the one. This is the finger I'm pointing directly to Satan. Okay. So what we know so far is that if you look in context, and I wish the screen would stop playing games. If you look in context in this in particular verse, we understand who he is. Okay. Hasatan, by definition, okay, we understand his function as being an opposer, an adversary, and being someone who comes to bring opposition. We understand that, right? Let me get rid of this. Sorry, you guys. So we understand that. But in a context, this in particular entity, Satan, is one of the sons of Elohim. That's who he is. That's why he's showing up. Okay. Which you can also see too through this text right quick is that it's the day. It has an article. When they go, okay, when they go, the sons of Elohim, to present themselves before Yahweh. So you know how you and I have appointed times? We have times that you and I have to present ourselves before Yahweh. So does his other sons. Yah has sons. Okay. That's why they're called the sons of Ha Elohim, the Elohim. And one of his sons that he lets us know, his name is Ha Satan. His name is Satan, but this is the one that he named this. That's his personal name and his function. Okay. So anybody that Yah decides to send, like the Malach of Yahweh, the Malach of Yahweh is not Satan. The Malach of Yahweh can function as a Satan because Yah is using whoever he wants to be an opposer and to be someone who's in opposition against somebody else. So by definition, according to this text, Yah has given us insight to let us know that he does have a son, and one of his sons' name is called Satan. And people can act like him and take on the attributes of him and respond just like he does in his character. You understand? Now, if that's the case, praise be to the living Elohim. If one has the potential and has the capacity to be and act like one of his sons, right? Check this out. Could you and I not, by Yahweh saying he has his name on us, could you and I not exemplify his character?
Yes.
Yes, we can. You understand? So you and I have, we could choose what character you and I want to exemplify. You see? If Yah wanted to use us as an opposer or opposition, he could at any given time. It doesn't make the Malach of Yahweh, the Malach of Yahweh, Malach of Yahweh is not evil because he came to do Yahweh's bidding. He came to be an opposer to that which was against Yah. You understand? Okay. So this is what it is. There's no mention whatsoever of a devil or the devil. They turned around and used this term right here to associate it with him, with one of Yah's sons. We're going to talk more about some of his characteristics on Shabbat in relation to our Torah portion and talking about opposition and being opposer. So what Satan really is, everyone, is someone who's on the other side of the chessboard. That's what he is. He's on the other side of the chessboard. He is what you will call an opponent. Okay. You guys can see my board, right? You can see it. Let me show you something. Let me see. What am I looking for? Oh, this it? That's some control. Where's it at? Oh, here you go. You guys see my board? What do you see?
Chessboard.
All right, here we go. What Satan is, everyone, he's on this side of the board, okay? And Yah can send him out of he could choose any one of these to be against you. Everybody here is different. You got a king, you got a queen, you got a bishop, you got your, that's why I love the game of chess. You have your religion, okay? You got your religious people, okay? You got your king, you got his queen, you got your castle, which is like, you know, your place where you live, your very strong wall, you know what I'm saying? You got your little pawns right here in the front. Any of these people that are coming against this side is what you would call a Satan. They're an opponent. And there's someone on this side who's pushing all the people in the direction that he wants them to go. You understand? So the question is this: who is in control on this side of the board?
Yahweh.
Yahweh is in control. Yahweh is in control of everybody and everything. Okay. So sometimes Yah is going to use whoever he needs to in order, if you and I are making moves, Yah is going to send somebody, if he wants to be an opposer, being an opponent. You understand? So who's really the one who's the real opponent that you and I are against, or who would be against us? Who's really could be against us?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Yah's in control of everybody. It's a chessboard. He uses whoever he wants to. You understand? So, for example, let's say that Yah's on this side of the chessboard, which he is. Okay. And then on this side, you got his enemies, because that's who you're opposing. Okay. They're trying to come up against him. You understand? And when you and I crossed Yahweh, we left this side of the board and said, we're going to go play on their team now. The Gentiles, or what you would call the Goyim. Okay. These individuals over here is Yahweh's players. Okay. Which consists of anybody he wants, which could be a Malach. He got Malachs over here. He got Cherubims over here. He got Seraphims over here. And guess who else he has over here? Yisrael is over there. You see? We're the ones that Yah says, I'll send you out to go do what I need to do. We're supposed to be the ones who's supposed to be opposing people. But no, what we want to do is we want to join up with them and be like them. And Yah says you can't be like them. Yah sends Satan out he sends, that's why when he sent that Malak to go meet Balaam, is because Balaam decided that he didn't want to play on Yahweh's side. What he was doing, I'm getting a little ahead of myself for my Torah teaching on Shabbat, but guess what he was? He was trying to play both sides of the board. And that's what people do. And because Yah found in him that he was going against him, he sent somebody out to prevent him from moving any further. You understand? And anytime you and I move in a direction that Yah told us not to move in, you see, so instead of us moving in this direction, right? Yah says, I didn't tell you to move that direction. I wanted you to go over in this other direction. I need you to go over here. You understand? Or I need you to move up 2. You only went 1. You're going against what I said. Yah's moving all the pieces to the whole entire world. It says that Yah sets up kingdoms and he tears them down. He puts everybody where he wants to put them for his purposes. You understand? So this is what we're talking about. Yah's in control. And the greatest opposer is not Satan. He was built and he was designed as one of Yah's sons to do what Yah wanted him to do when he needed to do it. And Yah can send anybody at any time to be just like him. Just like you and I have the power to be like Yah in a way we live our life, in the way that we do our justice. And you say, well, where's that at? Where's that at? I'm going to show you where it's at. I don't want us to lose focus and lose sight about who we really truly are. Because sometimes we get lost. We get lost in the sauce. That's my favorite little thing I say. We get lost in the sauce. You know, we're just playing. In Psalms 82, I think earlier this week on Yom Shalishi, I read out of Psalms 81. Here, or actually 83, forgive me. Here, listen what Yah had told to one of the Levites, okay, called Asaph. He says, Elohim stands in the divine assembly, okay? There with the Elohim, okay, meaning the judges. So Elohim can be used as he himself is the greatest power of all powers. Then also to the other Elohim that they're called judges, okay? Yah calls you and I Elohim, and he's going to tell us what it is that you and I are supposed to be doing. If you won't accept this, and you won't accept that you're a literal son or a literal daughter, then you're denying his power and what he said that you and I were supposed to be doing. He's judging the judges. The question he asks is this: how long will you go on judging unfairly because you're an Elohim? And how unfairly? Favoring the wicked. This word right here, Selah, means to exalt, meaning lift up your voice to Yahweh. But if you're on an instrument, you're supposed to turn that treble all the way up. How long are you going to go judging unfairly and favoring the wicked? That's the question. And he's talking to those who he gave the responsibility to judge. The New Testament stripped that right away from us, just like the people who are responsible for the New Testament took our name, our heritage, and our culture from us. They also took away your ability and your responsibility to say, I'm a judge. And they tell you, don't judge. You don't have a right to judge because you're not God. Here's the fact. Yah says that you are an Elohim. You are my sons. You are my daughters. He says, give justice to the weak and the fatherless. That's what you're supposed to do when you judge. Because when you don't judge the way that I told you, and you do favor the wicked, you're not giving justice to the weak and the fatherless. And I told you, if they ever cried out to me that you didn't do any justice towards them, I'll kill you. That's in Exodus chapter number 22, verse number 20. I'll kill you if they ever cry out to me. I'll make your children fatherless, so your children will experience what you were doing to others. That's how I get down. Uphold the rights of the wretched and the poor. You'll find that in the Torah all day long. Rescue the destitute and the needy and deliver them from the power of the wicked. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? They don't know, they don't understand, they wander about in darkness. Meanwhile, all the foundations of the earth are being undermined, meaning that the earth is ready to shake, okay, and the foundations of it, simply because the whole world was established upon justice and righteousness. The earth is standing in place and is firmly held together by justice, which is righteousness. So if you compromise the righteousness and the justice on the earth, then the foundations of the earth will shake and they will not be able to sustain themselves. So what goes on above the surface of the earth has everything to have to do with everything that goes down beneath the earth. Do we not live and eat off of that which comes out of the earth, from beneath the earth? Is it not beneath the earth that the water goes down and it stays inside the soil? Is it not in the earth, below the surface of the earth, where you will find the gold, the silver, you will find the gems and the stones? The minerals that we need is found beneath the surface of the earth. The iron is there. The copper is there. Yah has established this world that you and I live on in righteousness. So how we live and what we do compromises the integrity of what is holding everything together. He told us this: my decree is, my Coke, which is a kukim, okay? You are gods. You are Elohim. You are judges. You are chiefs. You're rulers. That's what an Elohim is. Sons of the Most High, all of you. That is a heavy responsibility that has been given to you and I. And you and I cannot operate outside of righteousness and justice. We cannot. If we do, then we are failed, because his decree is, his royal set apart Kadosh decree is, you are Elohim. You are sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, you will die like mortals. Like any prince, you will fall. Rise up, Elohim. What Elohim? The powerful one, asking him to rise up and judge the earth, for all the nations are yours. In context, you and I are supposed to be on the earth judging in righteousness and justice for the poor, for the wretched, for the weak, for the fatherless, for the widow, for the stranger, for the foreigner. This is what you and I are supposed to be doing. And even though you and I are sons and daughters, because sons is inclusive of daughters as well, that you and I are going to die like everyone else. We're going to die just like mortals, but there's something. And that's been taken away from you. You don't know your true identity. You don't really know. Therefore, when you don't know, you don't do. So it's important, or I would say it's imperative for us to understand who we are. We have enemies that are all around us, okay? So the idea of the devil being your enemy, he's not your enemy. He's not your enemy. Listen to me carefully. He's your opponent. I hope you can grasp this concept. He's your opponent. Okay? What do I mean by that? Going back to my example of the chessboard. Look what they got up there. Welcome back, beloved King Dawid. I have a question for you. Why would Yah give us an opponent? Why?
As a test.
It's a great test. The test is to see if you do fail, or you're going to face some challenges within that test, is to strengthen you and to make you better. Every time I learned how to play chess, because my stepdad, he was from Oklahoma. He was an older man, and he was like in his 60s or something when he taught me, 50s or 60s, and I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I used to play chess with him all the time. And he would beat me every single time. And I got frustrated. I didn't want to play anymore. I'm getting tired of being beat. I'm tired of getting castled, and tired of being checked all the time and checkmated. And he's doing it like in 2 to 3 moves. Okay. So I'm like frustrated. I don't want to play anymore. Okay. But guess what? He continued to tell me to keep playing. And guess what? I got really, really good. I'm a really good chess player. What I learned from that is that often we want to give up because we're faced with opposition and we're faced with opponents. The opponent is only there to make you stronger, to make you think. That's it. That's why Yah uses opposition, to make you think and have you consider. According to our Torah portion, Yah put this Malach of Yahweh, who was called there to be a Satan to Bilam in order to change his course. The donkey, the ass, for her true name, okay, was smart enough to see what was going on. She had enough sense to move out of the way and try to avoid the opposition, but it came a time where she had no choice because where she was going got too narrow for her to make any moves. So what she did was she sat there. She didn't move any longer. She couldn't. You see? So those stories are there for us to think about these things. Opposition is good. It's not the devil. It's an opponent. I want you to leave this class tonight understanding that there is no devil. All there is opposition. There's always going to be somebody that's going to oppose you. Go ahead, iPhone Max 13. Go ahead. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Pawn c7 to c6.
Can you guys hear it? Can I hear him?
I think that's from earlier.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that was from earlier? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, when you're playing chess,
Knight g8 to f6.
there's always opposition. You see the moves?
Pawn d7 to d5.
You see?
Yes.
That's all it is.
Knight f6 takes e4.
You're making moves.
Pawn e7 to
And
e5.
guess what it is? It's a setup. Okay? It's a setup. That's all I wanted to show you in this example. It is a setup to make you understand, okay, that, hey, I'm in a game. And anytime something comes and it hits me, it's because Yahweh is trying to get me to think.
Mhm.
That's all it is. Satan is not the devil. Satan is an opposer, it's an opposition, and Yah is in control. One of the things you can know that Yahweh will send an opposition. And the only time that Yahweh will send in opposition, listen, is for several reasons. I won't say one reason, it's for several reasons. Okay. What we learned in our Torah portion is this in particular person, Balaam, went outside and did something Yahweh said not to do. If you and I go outside of the road or the direction in which Yahweh has said, you and I shall expect opposition. Okay. Another example that we have about opposition is found in the book of Job. Okay. And within there, opposition was given because Yahweh wanted to strengthen Eov, but he had to bring something out of him. So he puts this in front of him. He puts this opposition in front of him, okay, to direct him and to direct his life in order to bring about the changes that Yahweh wants to make happen in his life. So I don't want you to go around telling people that the devil did it. I want you to give God, okay, or excuse me, Yah. I want you to give Yah the glory
Mhm.
when you are faced with opposition. I want you to acknowledge that this is Yah's doing. And how do we know that that's what you're supposed to do? We know that by simply about what Balaam had said. Okay. What Balaam said in closing was this. I ain't gonna read where the donkey was going back and forth and all this, because there's something more to that. Then Yahweh opened Balaam's eyes so that he could see the Malach of Yahweh standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand, and he bowed his head and he fell on his face. The Malach of Yahweh said to him, "Why did you hit your donkey 3 times like that? I have come out here to bar your way because you are rushing to oppose me." See? So opposition, okay, like I said, can be for several reasons. Because you and I have come to the point of opposing Yahweh. The Malach of Yahweh is speaking on Yahweh's behalf. Yah told this Malach to say this, that I'm coming to bar your way because you're opposing me. And that me right there is Yahweh. The donkey saw me, the Malach of Yahweh, and turned aside these 3 times. And indeed, if she hadn't turned away from me, not Yahweh, the Malach of Yahweh, I would have killed you by now and saved it alive. Balaam said to the Malach of Yahweh, I have sinned. I didn't know that you were standing on the road to block me. Okay. Now, therefore, if what I am doing displeases you, I will go back. The Malach of Yahweh said to Balaam, no, go on with the men, but you are to say only what I tell you to say. The first time that Yah spoke to Balaam in that dream, okay, is told him, you do what I told you to do. Now that he's made a move outside of what Yahweh wanted, Yah moves away from making a move because it's not about a move anymore. You've already made your move. You've already went past the bounds that you're supposed to have gone. Now what I want to do with you now is this. I'm not interested in having you turn back away from the way your move. Now moving forward, I want you to do what I told you, what I say. So you and I can see in this example right here, and it says, so Balaam went along with the princes of Balak. So in our wisdom and in our understanding, we can see how Yah has transitioned. Praise be to the Holy One of Yisrael, the Kadosh One of Yisrael. What did Yahweh say in 20? Yahweh says, but do only what I tell you. So the first time was a do, but he did not do. So then Yah moves away from the do because now you've transgressed. That's what that sin is about. You've transgressed what I said. Okay? You acknowledge what you've done to Yahweh. You acknowledge that you've transgressed against him. And he says, moving forward, do you want me to go back? No, I don't want you to go back. I don't want you, no, I don't want you to go back. What I want you to do now is only say only, not do, but say what I tell you to say. Now, what can you and I learn from this, from these 2 things that Yah said? in the Torah here. First he said do, and then he said say only what I say, what I tell you to say. You and I have acknowledged that we have not done what Yahweh said. So Yah has done nothing but put opposition after opposition after opposition in front of us, to the point to where you and I now have to acknowledge our sin. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you and I can do beyond that point. Now that we've sinned against him, he said, well, you can't make it better just by going back. It's already done. What I need you to do now is, moving forward, you are to say only what I tell you to say. That's the call of Yisrael. There's no way possible that you and I can go back and fix physically the things that have been done. All the mistakes that you and I have made, there's no way that you and I can go back and change that. It's already done. We're not living in a fairy tale. We're not living in a magic world. Well, yeah, there's Disneyland in California and over in Florida. But guess what? When you do something, it's done. You make a mistake, you pick yourself up, but you got to acknowledge that you have sinned against the Holy One, the Kadosh One, the set apart one. Well, moving forward, you and I are only to say what he tells us to say. That's why every time I do a Torah teaching or a class, I'm only going to tell you what he says. That's how you can secure your footing with Yahweh. That's how you can save your life, is if you only say what Yahweh has said. And continue on this in particular Shabbat coming up, you're going to find out that Balaam stuck to that in particular theme. He told that man, I can only say what Yahweh tells me what to say. And that's it. There is nothing else that you and I can do but to say what he says, okay? And do what he says, okay? Not in the past tense, because we didn't do that. Moving forward, in the present, in this moment, right now, we can do what he says, but you have to do what he says. You have to listen what he says, and you can do what he says. Any questions, contributions, statements?
I find it interesting that a donkey, could almost say, had better sense than the human being did. He
Yes.
saw what Balaam
Mm-hmm.
didn't see.
Mm-hmm. Had enough
Mhm.
sense.
Right.
Had enough sense to know danger. Had enough sense to see the fear of this mighty one. Yah had given that animal eyes to see. You see? But Yah had to open Balaam's eyes, and Yah's opening our eyes to the truth of who he is, and he's opening the eyes to, and we know what we've done. We know it. You and I know when Yah says not to do something, we go outside of the bounds of what Yahweh says. He's not buying, well, I didn't know. I thought you said. You see, the sin was, Yah says, if they summon you, they didn't summon him. They was waiting for a second summon. They didn't second summon. They didn't. They didn't ask the second time. He just got up and went, which is he made his call easy. Like, I'm gonna presume upon Yah, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. He had some motivations that moved him in that direction. So those are the issues, and that's what we're faced with as his people. So that's what I see. I see when Yah says, you guys, I told you to do something, and you guys, your people went outside of the bounds. You presumed upon me and thought I wasn't going to check you. Now that I'm checking you, I'm putting some opposition in front of you. And the ultimate opposer and the ultimate opponent that you and I have to face is Yah. He can send anybody, whether it's a Malak of Yahweh, like we saw right there, or whether it's Hasatan himself that we saw in the book of Job. Yah can send anybody. He can send somebody in your family. He can send anybody. He can send your husband. He can send your wife. He can send anybody. And the purpose of sending someone is to block your way. Now, if that way wasn't blocked, he would have died. So look at the mercy. Don't be afraid of Satan, but be aware that there is one and there are many Satans. Don't be looking for the devil. Be looking for the opposition. So you got to be cognitive. You got to have some sense of awareness. So anytime something's coming up, like there's some opposition on anything, then you know, okay, that's Satan right there. There's something going on. And don't be mad at the person. Understand it. This is from Yahweh. Why are you laughing at Kika? Because I'm learning. When you got opposition, that's from Yahweh. Can't nobody make a move without Yah, without his approval. He's in charge of everything and everybody. Well, we're going to finish up our lesson on this Shabbat coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know exactly what Yah's going to do with me or what he's going to teach us, but I have some ideas. And I'm excited about that. And I want you to be excited about it too. Continue to do your studies. Also too, this is for the men. We want to have our men's meeting, our brotherhood meeting that we're going to start having on, and I'll make mention of it again on Shabbat. I just want to throw it out there. You brothers out here that they're on, with us on Zoom, we want to invite you to come and share an hour of your time. We're not asking you for any money. We're asking you for your time. And that time is going to be on Yom Rishon, which is the first day of the week, here at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here in California. If you are in the midsection of the country, and that's going to be at 9 o'clock. And then if you're on a far other part, it'd be like 10 o'clock, I think. So I know it'll be a little late for you, but you'll get an hour of talk and you'll sleep real well. Hallelujah. Praise be to the Holy One, the Kadosh One of Israel.
Hallelujah.
Lila Tov, everyone. I'll see all of you. If, like Akoti Pam says, if Yah's willing.
That's right.
You got me on that. If he's willing, then we'll see each other again.
Yeah.